Hey chaps, lovely to see you, Martin, of course. Martin
Yeah, good to see you again.
Last time we saw you was at our EMOM in Bath.
It was great night, great.
And we've also got Chris, who's from Electronica North, so a sort of EMOM North organisation, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So we work around community groups and sort of putting on EMOM nights around Wakefield and Leeds, and sort of branch out with a few others as well. But yeah, we're just helping out this region, really.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it, Martin, really? I mean,
great,
I know we spoke to you a little bit about it in your sort of pre-performance interview,
yeah,
but not on the sort of main channel, in a kind of bit more. So,
yeah.
I mean, 2017, you kind of started this whole thing off. Did you expect this kind of momentum? Because it's grown into such a beautiful thing.
No, I didn't at all. I mean, I just thought it'd be a nice way to get a few people together who were into their weird and wonderful music making rather than the sort of more acoustic-y stuff, and that it would sort of go from there, really. But it's taken off. I think COVID nearly put an end to it, but it just seemed to mushroom even more after COVID.
I think post-COVID kind of created a pent-up need, wasn't it?
I think so. I think a lot of people during COVID had spent their cash on buying music technology and playing with it at home, and suddenly thought, I need somewhere to take this now. I need somewhere live to make this sort of music happen.
There are a lot of very interesting psychological kind of aspects to the why and the where, the how, and I think that sort of aiming for a small target, because prior to this, almost to do a gig and get booked as an act it's a major commitment. You've got to you've almost got to have like a life plan, whereas you could be a bit more off the cuff. And
that's true. I mean, I'd put on the EMOM nights, I'd put on quite a few live music events with electronic acts, and it was always hard to get a decent audience turnout for those nights. You know, often nobody had heard of the artists and therefore didn't want to kind of come along.
I suppose
with an EMOM thing,
you
don't know what you're going to get, and different people can come along.
And people bring their mates, so you end up with a built-in audience. I mean, it's sort of in a weird way like those Battle of the Band shows. You had nightclubs, and nightclubs knew what they were doing, because they'd go, yes, we can't pay you and you need to bring this many people, but actually people want to come to this because everybody sort of feels that it's a very supportive situation, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we hope that people stick around generally for the whole night, or as much as the night as they can.
Absolutely.
With Battle of the Bands, often your mates will turn up and then go to the boozer next door, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, Chris, what's going on, sort of northern-wise? Are you finding there's a real appetite, and what are you doing to help? You know, what's your role in the?
I think particularly. I mean, we're based around Yorkshire, so I think there's 8 EMOMs in Yorkshire. Yorkshire's like a third of the country, so a little bit helped by that. But it's I think there's a huge appetite for it, and that kind of story that you were saying just a minute ago, where people taking it up during lockdown, that's my story. I'd never touched a hardware box, and in fact the first time I ever heard my synths played on speakers was at an EMOM. I took my gear to an EMOM just for me to hear it on the big speakers as well, and since then it's been just part of that community and building up. In my little group we've got 200 people now in our Facebook group, so just building that up and supporting each other. And sometimes, well, you want to play with a bit of kit and you don't want to buy it, and you're just like, can I have a play at the EMOM? So for me, it's all about community, all about being with a group and just sort of jamming and having fun, just down the pub with your mates. That's my sort of view on it.
Yeah.
I should have sent you a poster for one of ours. I see ours isn't up there, so I'm a bit disappointed.
Well, you could have sent it.
I didn't know. I think the thing that both me and Andy get from, and I think a lot of people get from organising these things, is the person who shows up with very little confidence of their ability, very nervous, maybe not sure if they're going to do it, and then they do it, and when they come off, that sense of euphoria, which, I mean, I don't know where else, you don't get that in many places in your life as an adult.
Sometimes getting over those initial nerves, isn't it, in an environment where people are genuinely interested in what you're doing. You know, you might have only done it at home a few times, but it's a totally different experience, I think, being in a live environment. totally different.
It is, but it's beautiful to see, and it's sort of
I would say, you know, if anyone's out there kind of like thinking, how do I get involved and how do I be a part of that? Just go to one. Most of them are in the back of a pub. They're low commitment. You can sit at the back, you know, just sort of see if this is for you, see how you want to be a part of this. And what I did, because I was a bit nervous getting started, is I just did a sort of collab with my mate. And we kind of played together, and we jammed together rather than me being on my own. So you can always find someone and sort of do that with them on the night.
Exactly, and I think the thing is going, because people probably have an image in their mind that everybody's like as good as you, Martin, or Jim Glue or something, but you know, or as experienced as a performer, whereas
I think
people are so supportive
as well. I mean, you know, the first nights I ran, it was literally just a table, a PA, and that was it. But more recently, there's film involved, there's VJs taking part, there's even the live broadcast like yourselves, you know, you kind of did that, and Geosynths did that in Blackpool. It's like it's a real another angle to it, being able to do that next level.
So the hardest thing we find, certainly in our city, is finding venues that are suitable. I mean, how do you go about that? I mean, where do you...
I got some tricks, right. So boots on the ground. We sent, when we were trying to find venues, we sent out loads of emails. We just didn't get anywhere, because you typically get filtered through like an events manager, and there's no value for them to do it. So what we did is, I don't know if this is the same strategy that you would suggest, but you know, if you want to do it on a Wednesday night, you walk around on a Wednesday night, see which venues are like pubs or sort of pubs or events or spaces that are linked to a brewery that have to stay open, because you know, HQ tells them they have to stay open on a Thursday, but you walk in there and it's dead. And you know, you tell them that you can put 15 people in that room, or even 8, and they say, yeah, you know, come along, try it out and give it a go. And
something going on, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And I think that, from my experience, they're kind of, places are screaming out for things to happen, you know, community to develop at their venue, not just a one-shot like sort of rock and roll band that come in and leave, but actually like a reoccurring community. So we do ours every second Thursday. It's consistent. It means that, you know, the venue knows that there's going to be people in on that day. They even put a member of staff on the second bar, you know, that kind of thing. You know, we build up a little relationship with them. They use their social media for us. We use it for them.
That's good.
Yeah,
we're
being part of that.
Doing that to help.
It's because, I mean, we're seeing city centres and communities in urban communities out of office hours are dead. I mean, if you want lunch or an early dinner, fine. If you want to go and see something at a bar, forget it. You know, it's really hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky really in the EMOM side of things, because we have had over the years some great venues for the EMOM nights. We used to run one in Troubadour in Earls Court in London. That's a legendary venue. We're at Dublin Castle now in London, which is where Amy Winehouse played and Madness played years ago. So they're all interesting venues, and Wakefield was at the Hop, which is a great venue. So it kind of fits into the venues themselves that are involved in grassroots music.
Yeah, I mean, because I think that's the key, grassroots. I mean, in our town, there was a club called Moles, which shut down after nearly 40 years. My mum was a member, my daughter went there, and I went there. So that's 3 generations of club goers, and it's gone.
Ah, it's a shame.
You know, and there's just nowhere. There aren't places, because you know, you're not selling food, or you're not. Those venues, everything has to be maximised. It's really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you know, community space, libraries. We've had them in libraries. We've had them in art galleries.
Doncaster do a skate park.
Skate park centre. Yeah, that's a good one in Doncaster. Yeah, it's
Oh, brilliant. So keep it. Where is that? There is a central place where people can find out all of the information they might need.
There's a Facebook group, there's a Twitter account, there's an Instagram account. If you generally search electronic music open mic, you'll find the information you need, and if you can't, you can always come to somebody in the group and ask.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, guys.
All right, cheers.